Hello and welcome back to another episode of the CrossFit Harrow podcast. This is episode number 92 and today we are joined by Molly.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
So first question that goes out to everyone.
Okay.
What brought you to CrossFit Harrow?
So we were in lockdown number 1.
Yes.
And I think I might have looked in the mirror and thought, you're a fat blob. So wanted to do something about it. Actually, and I think I might have said this to you before, I actually tried to get in contact with CrossFit Watford. Sorry. But they didn't reply. We move on. And then it was basically trying to find somewhere that I could commute into work because I work in Hemel, and just trying to make that work. And I thought, I reckon I can get to Harrow and then get to work on time. So then I decided to get into contact with you. And you replied, I think, within about 3 seconds.
Yeah, I think I might have my phone in my hands as the inquiry came through. And
I was like, yes, because I like people who are efficient, and I think it just shows like good business sense and whatever, and good customer service. And I was like, I already really like this. And then that's when I decided to just make an appointment. But I'd always sort of dabbled with the idea of doing CrossFit, but I guess I'm sorry to say that, and I realise it's not like that now, but I always thought CrossFit was like, if you've got a 6-pack, then you're allowed in, and if you don't, and you're not elite, then you can't.
It's a big misconception, like even now,
100%.
like now that you're in it, you realise that it's not like that.
No.
But actually, and even someone who's very comfortable with a lot of the things that you do within it, for you to feel like that, also, those who aren't so comfortable with certain movements or whatever would feel worse. What would you say to someone who feels like that now?
Oh, just 100% do it, and you're never ever going to be like the best or the worst. So I just think, and everything's tailored to what you want to do and what you can do, and especially here. So if you can't quite do a movement, then it will be scaled. But I didn't see that, and I think unless you follow the right accounts on like social media,
which is a bollocks thing.
100%. All you see with CrossFit is those athletes who have like really muscly, like none of the girls have got an inch of fat on them, and
which is not good.
No,
may we add?
No,
because women do look at that and go, "Oh, I wish I looked like that," and you're like, "Well, actually, if you've ever thought about giving birth, there's probably not a condition that you want to be in."
Do you know what? I don't know whether I should say this, but what I love.
James, get ready to edit this up.
You know, the athlete like Laura Horvath?
Yeah.
She is somebody
is
such a good representation of somebody that is not skeletally, I mean, none of them are skeletally thin, but you know what I mean, who, like, she looks like a normal, like, good sized athlete, if that's what you want to say.
I mean, she does take her fitness seriously.
Yeah.
But actually, I don't know what she does, but from a visual point of view, it might come across that actually, although she takes it seriously, she has fun with it too, and she hasn't made such drastic, she's not there. She might weigh her food, she might not, she might, wake up at regimented times and do this and that, but actually in terms of her body and it's not what a woman should look like or a male should look like. It's how you feel within your own skin. Yeah. But she's not on this pedestal as this figure that you should look like.
No, and she comes first, second, third, or whatever, like top in all events. So it just, I think if you want somebody to follow, to go, oh, you actually can be really successful, really fit, and do really well, and you don't have to have a 6-pack, then she's somebody that. But that took me ages to figure out with CrossFit.
Why is it that men or women aspire to have a 6-pack and that's their definition of fitness?
Do you know what? I don't know. I genuinely think it's just social media and what you've been sold forever. And if you look at like the trends, however many 15 years ago, say you had to be a size 6, and that wasn't a 6-pack, and now it's turned to, oh, you need to have a really big bum. Yeah. And like,
I actually saw something about some sort of creams and gels that you.
Oh, I saw that too. That James Smith. Did you see that? Yeah, he ranted about that, didn't he?
And you're like, logically, how do you apply cream and your bum expands?
It's ridiculous, but people believe it.
They do.
Because it's on, but then I think that's targeted to people who have no idea about
health and
fitness.
Where do you draw the line? Like, surely someone's got to wake up, smell the coffee and go, I've been fucked here.
Well, but you know all those teas that are advertised, like detox teas. It's the same. It's marketed to the same people, isn't it? Who don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. But it's also the other thing is instant, right? I've said this in probably every podcast I've spoken to someone about. It is you can buy that cream, regardless whether it does the thing or not. It doesn't, by the way.
Should I buy it and try it? I'll let you know.
You have it in your hand. It's something that you can hold. It's tangible. Same as the tea. Like you can drink it, and like you almost feel that you drank it. You go, oh fucking, I feel thinner.
Yeah.
But that is the state of the industry. And I always say this. We have a responsibility, and we say this often here, is that we do have as a business a responsibility to educate the guys like yourselves that walk in and call out bullshit when you see bullshit, and actually just put people on a sustainable fitness program that they can probably do for the rest of their life.
And I will shout out Case here and say that like he completely changed my look on nutrition. Yeah. And because that's what I did. So
you worked with him for quite a while.
Yeah. And like the difference in my body.
So that's something that you can talk about.
There we go.
So do you remember like, because it was quite a few months, wasn't it? It was what, 4 or 5 months, something like that you were on, like under his supervision for nutrition.
Yeah.
And what did 4 or
5 months.
What would that include? So what were your so that people get an idea of what nutrition coaching or mentoring is, and that they can understand that actually it's not like here's a diet, do that. Yeah. What was it involved for you?
So it was very much about what did I want to achieve and what did my week look like, because I am probably more of the extreme of doing quite a lot of exercise, because I don't just come here and I that I do quite a lot of netball, and I'm a PE teacher, so I'm
very active.
So I just found that everything that I was reading or had been taught up until now was like, you need to cut your calories. The only way that you will lose weight and look really good is if you eat 1,200 calories. And every time I tried that, I would get to 2:00 and I'd have trained in the morning, done a whole day at work, and then I knew I'd have to go and play an hour of like, people not netball all the time, but it is intense and of an intense sport, and I wouldn't be able to get through the game, and I'd feel, I know it sounds dramatic, but I'd feel lightheaded,
but you'd
not be able to stand up.
You don't have enough food, and for the output of your body, this is a guess here, you're probably going to need anywhere between 2,500 calories. Yeah. And you're eating 1,200. Yeah. Like, that's a massive 100%. Undercut of what you're supposed to. Or
there's a whole cut carbs, and that'll fit. And me personally, cutting carbs does not work for me, and I've tried that before. So even if I was eating 2,000 calories of everything except carbs, again, like I just
the thing is,
sustain it.
What you do and what CrossFit is essentially a sport or a program that requires you to, like, carbs are your first main source of energy. That's where your body will get energy from, and if you don't eat them and you haven't got sufficient amount of fat stored in terms of like the foods that you eat, and your body and protein intake too, your body's not going to have any energy.
Yeah, so I mean that's what I really learnt from it, was like the good carbs to have, and that carbs don't need to be the enemy, and you can eat a good amount of calories and still lose weight. Like I had lost weight eating more.
Yeah, and you didn't believe that at the beginning.
No, I did not believe it, and Kay said to me all the time, like, just it will work, just stick with it, and I did, and trusted him, and like the difference, like I have pictures and sometimes I'm like, I can't believe that I used to look like that. And by some miracle, so at the moment I've not been training nearly as much as I was in the summer, and I'm pretty sure that I've still maintained.
Yeah, because it's something that's realistic.
Yeah.
And obviously training is very dependent. Your body's let's say appearance is very dependent on the type of training that you do. Yeah. So where weight training is very important for a female and male, that will kind of shape your body in a certain way in terms of like having it's claimed that women or guys want to be lean, and what that means is increasing muscle mass. So resistance training is important to that, which will give your body a certain look.
100%.
Whilst long distance cardio, which a lot of people which is like almost like muscle wastage. Yeah. Like there is no definition. Your body can't. You could weigh the same, or you could weigh 10 kilo less. Yeah. But you wouldn't look as good as like if you were fuller, let's say.
Well, that again is another thing that I've learned from CrossFit, is that you don't need to sort of train for 5 hours a day, and the way that you look is what 80-90% of your food intake. It's got do all of the weights, do all of the exercise, but you just need to control what you're eating. So like I've really because I know that I haven't been training as much. No, I'm probably not as fit, but I still think about what I eat.
But you have to and it's often, again, we say this to each individual because we want to give them the right information, that there are different times in your life where you're going to be able to do more things than others. So, you know, where you had a lot of your success was because you had the allocated time to be able to do that. Now it's finding a way of being able to, again, do that, but with the time now that you have, which is less.
100%.
So people, you know, had such good internal results through lockdown and things like that. And actually now, for a lot of people, it's just finding out how they can maintain that going back to work.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been like a massive, like, you know, that's been a massive struggle for me to try and do as much as I was doing.
Yeah, but we always compare, right?
Yeah, and I certainly feel guilty because I can't maintain what I was doing before. And then you get into this silly cycle of, well, I'm not doing as much as before, so I'm not going to be as good as I was then.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that, because you've got different priorities. So
yeah.
I mean, no, but I'm doing well at work.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I've got work for the rest of my life.
And at one point, something's going to just be a little bit higher on that list, you know, or multiple points throughout your life. Fitness will pop up and it'll pop back down. And then it'll pop up and it'll pop back down. But generally, if you don't make any drastic changes, and we stay away from that all or nothing approach, and sometimes I feel like that, I do all or nothing sometimes. If we actually stay somewhere in the middle, close to like the equator line, then
it is true.
You're fine.
I certainly need to remember that at times, because I go off that.
And you've also got to think there really isn't any end result, right? There isn't really an end.
It's just how you feel.
It's perception.
Yeah.
Because actually, we're not doing, again, say this very often, we're not doing this for like a year. We are doing this for like 25 to 30 to 35, 40, 50 years of our lives.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to get to a 12-week block and go, I've completed fitness, tick, boom, done.
Yeah.
Don't have to do anything ever again. Because then there comes like holidays, then there comes social events, then there comes, you know, whether it be children, then there comes other priorities, and like it's just fitting that all in to do something that's sustainable.
Yeah, that's the key.
That's actually realistic.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, there's people in different positions than us that maybe don't have children and married life and everything else that comes with that find themselves comparing themselves to a time that they were before.
Yeah.
And then I want to get back to that time. And then like, right, fuck it. I'm waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to go do this. And you're like, realistically, you can't sustain that.
You can't sustain it, no.
So you're just setting yourself up to that whole cycle of failure. Like,
yeah, and then you feel bad, and then you just go on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and even, you know, we're recording this 2 weeks ahead. So this will be mid-January that this comes out. And people will still make that same mistake in New Year. Like, right, I'm going to go join a gym, give it my beans for the first week.
Yeah.
And actually, no, like, let's just slow it down. Let's just pull it back a little bit and go, yeah, we can do that, but we're not going to do it for 3 months. We want to do that for 12.
Yeah.
Or obviously even longer.
Everything you sort of read, well, I think that's like healthy, good advice is just consistency for you.
Yeah.
Just find your own consistency. And that doesn't mean that it has, like, you and I have different, what we believe is consistent.
If it's too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah.
But fitness relies on, the fitness industry relies on people wanting that quick fix, and that doesn't help with the whole social media element. It doesn't help with the media and the expectations of others on other people.
I think it has gotten better. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's getting worse.
Well, only because maybe that's just my perception, in that I really didn't agree with looking like a size 6 skeletal. So in terms of like what I like, the fact that now, no, you shouldn't have to look like an image, but as in, at least we're not trying to tell people that you need to look anorexic for, you know, to look healthy. At least now women are allowed to be like a normal size. Yeah,
whatever normal might be. But it is. There's more of an open conversation.
You're normal, yeah.
There is more of an open conversation to be like, actually, you don't need to be like that. You can be whatever you want to be.
And I just think it's like really key to make sure that you don't follow those accounts that just make you feel awful about yourself, and you find people who
there's a massive psychological effect to those.
Oh, I think it's awful. I think the world would be a better place without it, but that's a whole other conversation.
That is. I think the main things at the moment on social media are something to do with fitness, something to do with some sort of NFT that at the moment, Bitcoin, and cryptocurrency and all that. And
I don't even understand
obviously
that.
the whole COVID thing. And it's actually, if you turn away from that and just got on with and put a plan together of like how you want to improve your health and fitness.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean gym 6 times a week. That can literally mean you picking 3 days out of the gym to go to, and then the rest of however you manage your own diary is spending time with friends, family, and doing things that are fun. Because at the end of the day, we all want to fucking have a glass of wine or beer, and we want to eat a whole packet of chocolate biscuits. But we want to look good at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just that balance.
Definitely.
You actually done sports management at uni?
Yes, I did.
What was the choice behind that?
Honestly, not clever enough to do sports science. So no, is that strictly true? I don't know. My A levels were in PE, business and psychology,
right?
And I really enjoyed business and sport, and I basically just scoured loads of unis to see if I could combine the two or do some sort of combined course with sport and business. I was never any good at science at school, so I didn't really enjoy that element of of fitness.
That's actually quite fun.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not good at it, but it's fun.
I was never any good at that, even if I tried. Biomechanics, if you ever studied that.
I mean, I know a little bit, very minute.
Yeah, I just couldn't get my head around it. So that is why I decided to do sports management.
What does it consist of though? Like what, in terms of organisations of sport?
Yeah, so it was basically another thing that I wanted to do was make sure that I had a practical element in my course. So it kind of whittled down or got rid of quite a few universities. So I did coaching as well as part of my course. So my course was the sports side in learn how to coach, learn about, you could choose like physiology or whatever it might be, so there were still some sciencey bits behind it, but then I also had to do like an enterprise project to do with sport. So I had to come up with a business idea that was around the fitness industry.
What did you come up with?
It was an app actually,
and that was many moons ago.
Many moons ago I designed an app, and my app, it frustrates me, and I think even now, so if you move into a new area, you can't just Google sports clubs. In fact, this is backed up by Sophie.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, no, I could make millions here. Sophie, new CrossFit coach, said to me, are there any netball clubs in the area? Because she tried to look on the internet and couldn't find anything. So wouldn't it be really good, no matter what sport you want to try and do, if you could go onto an app and it would literally list every single sports club
based on the area?
Based on the area that you are.
There's your directory.
So it frustrates me so much, because to find good leagues, and it's just impossible. But
it's got to start at grassroots, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like at every level, I think that you should be able to go somewhere centrally and find sports clubs for people, because it just puts people off, and then you have no grassroots players, and then you have nobody participating in sport,
and then that sport dies out, or that club dies out.
Exactly. So that was my idea.
Nice.
Genius. I know.
So sports management.
Yeah.
Left uni. What uni did you go to?
UWIC in Cardiff. It's now Cardiff Metropolitan University.
Right.
Which was great. Like, loved it.
And did you go to school in London? No.
No, I'm originally from Newcastle, and then when I was 9, I moved to Cheltenham. So I'd say I was brought up and raised in Cheltenham, and that's where I did. So I moved in year 4. Does that make me 9? I don't know.
No idea.
So yeah, and I did like all of my secondary school in Cheltenham. Went to university in Cardiff. After finishing at Cardiff, I then went and did a ski season.
Oh right.
Yeah, I did 2 actually. So I worked in Val d'Isère in France for 6 months, and then I did summer in Mallorca, in villas. So I was like concierge. Worked in very nice chalets and villas.
Would that mean that you were going out skiing every day?
Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Was that part of the job, or?
Yeah. So it's kind of like the main reason why anybody would do it. So you effectively do shift work. So you serve people breakfast in the morning. So you're working like probably 6:30 until 10, clean everybody's rooms. Then you get, from however quickly you can do that, 10:30 until about 5, you can ski. or do whatever you want with your day. Then you go back into the chalet, serve afternoon tea, and then get ready for dinner service. And then that's 6 days a week. You get 1 day off a week. You get paid about £100 a week. Although actually, I think now quite a lot of laws have come through, specifically in France, that you can't pay people from the UK less than minimum wage in that country.
Oh, right.
So now if you go, you have to basically treat them like proper employees.
But your working hours would still only be 6 till 10:30.
Yeah.
And then that 10 till 5, that you don't get paid for that time.
No. But you get all your accommodation, you get an annual ski pass, you get all your food
Which
paid
is worth
for.
quite a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. So actually, they sold the package. It was like the best time of my life. It was so much fun.
Did you prefer the warmer skis, the colder ski season, or warmer?
They were really different.
Are they?
Yeah. You probably got more time off in the summer. You got 1.5 days off. That I just love. Wow. I know. Whew. I love both. They were great, and it made me like. I love Mallorca. I'd go back there like.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, it was so good. Well, probably now, getting a bit old. But I look back and I'm like really pleased that I did that. And then I did a second season in Morzine, which I didn't like so much. And I literally went. Well, actually, that season there was literally no snow. It was like a fluke year. It was awful. Anyway.
Did you? Well, obviously, we're still working.
Yeah, working. So very similar thing, but for a very small company. So then I was like head concierge, and that was basically looking after like 3 chalets and just making sure that they were,
Skiing is probably. When I went, I really enjoyed that.
So good.
It is a good holiday.
I've been really lucky that I've done it since I was younger, so I always had like an interest in it.
Did you go when you went?
Yeah. So my mum actually did ski season, so she worked out there for a long time, and that's just what she did.
I suppose you saw that, and
and she always talked about it so highly, and I think that's probably what made me want to do it. So that was always my plan, like do university and then go and do ski season.
I often ask people this question about like just getting up and go.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
What do you mean?
So it's a big decision to be like, I'm going away for 6 months.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to comprehend how people just get up and go, I'm going to go and do this for 6 months or 12 months.
I think for me, it was the fact that I knew that it was organised, like loads of people do it. So you're not the only one in that position.
Yeah.
And it was all organised. I knew that I would have accommodation. I knew that I would get paid. Everything was set up. So, because I'm somebody who's quite like, I like everything to be planned and I'm fairly organised. The comfort for me there was I don't have there's no strings attached. I've got no plans. I've got no job.
Responsibility. Yeah, I was going to say a lot of it, the risks in that sense are lower.
If you ask me now to up my life and go away for 6 months, I'd be like, absolutely not. Where am I going? How am I going to get paid? What's my accommodation? Blah,
How old
were
you when you done it?
22. So I'd literally just finished university.
Yeah.
I had no...
You had options.
Yeah.
You had options.
I had no... My last year of university, a lot of my friends were like, oh my God, I need a full-time job. I'm going straight into full-time job, or I'm going to become a teacher. Loads of people that I know, because I went to a sports uni, everybody became a PE teacher. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's probably like the natural progression.
Now look at me.
But a lot of people might... Do they go abroad and do like jobs abroad for like PE teaching? People do camps in America and all that
Yeah,
stuff?
they do. Yeah. But quite a lot of my friends actually did a gap year before university.
Oh, right.
I did it the other way around.
Yeah. In some ways better because you're a little bit older, you can enjoy things a little bit more.
I think so. I just wanted to sort of get school and essay writing and all that done and ticked off. But I definitely went to university because everybody else, I think had I had my time again, I'm not sure I would have gone. I'm not academic.
How did you, as a 9-year-old, move in from Newcastle to Cheltenham?
To be honest with you, I think I was too young to
notice anything.
Me and my brother were just told that was what was happening, and I don't remember going. In fact, I've never thought about this. I don't remember going, oh my God, my whole life is going to change. Yeah. We were just sort of put in a car. And
I suppose if you were to say that to a 9-year-old now, I mean, it'd probably be quite an experience. It could be positive and negative experience for a 9-year-old. Could be quite traumatic. But if you say that to a 9-year-old now, it's probably a little bit more traumatic than a 9-year-old back when you grew up, just because of what's around, what they see.
It's funny that you say that. Yeah. Because I teach, you see, and I teach secondary, so I see kids from 11 years old up to 18, and I think to myself, especially the 11-year-olds, I was never that mature or sort of adult at that age. I think then that brings me back to my earlier point of social media ruining everybody's lives. And they all have mobile phones. I didn't have a mobile phone till I was at least probably year 8.
I think I had one at 13.
Or something like that. And I think you're absolutely right in that.
It kind of like masks an element of them, they're growing up.
Yeah. But it's really difficult as a parent. So what do you do? What do you do now? Do you stop your child having a mobile phone when everybody else has one?
And then they almost like revolt against you.
Yeah. So what do you do?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a parent, but I would imagine that.
Tell me.
I would imagine that it's like giving it in small doses.
Yeah.
Like enough for them to get what they need out of it, but not enough that they take the piss out of it and that it can ruin their life. Yeah.
Because, I mean, really, I know you can put sort of, you can stop them going on certain sites and stuff, but can you really?
Well, I just think that,
I don't know.
I mean, this is going to sound really negative, but I think it's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
Like the exposure to it is massive, and even like if no one, for the guys that are listening, this whole metaverse thing, like with Facebook changing its name to Meta, and they're actually building a metaverse where you can. I actually watched Black Mirror recently.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that?
I haven't, no, but I know what you mean.
I think it's the second episode, which is more relevant to kind of what's going on in the world right now, that you can enjoy an experience, but you won't be there. It would be live. So I think they're doing it's a version of like Britain's Got Talent, but in the audience is a what they call now an NFT, is like an artwork of you or something, but you're watching it through a screen.
Oh my God.
But you can interact through that. So if you talk, that person's thing is like, moving. It's just a scary world.
That is nuts.
And I think it's just only going to get bigger and worse.
Definitely. What I find really sad when you look around at kids, so I actually saw this yesterday. There was a mother and their child. The child must have been 5, I reckon, and the child's walking down the street watching a video like this. So they're walking down the street and the child's got a phone watching a video out loud, and the mum has their hand on their back, like guiding them so they don't walk into a lamppost. And I'm like, can you not even get your child away from that screen to walk home from Tesco's?
But then I think that's a whole other conversation.
That's
because
nuts.
But that could also be like, I've spoken to Con about this, like that people sometimes have children too early, and as a parent they haven't developed those skills. So when they have a child, they can't teach those skills because they don't know them. So the easiest thing for them to do is
here's a screen,
watch this.
And don't get me wrong, if I ever get to a point of having children, I will probably do that too. I know that sometimes it's super stressful, but I'd like to think that I wouldn't let my 5-year-old walk down the street holding a phone watching a video.
I never had that. It was like even if it came of a case of like dinner, kids will be like, no, I don't want to eat that, or like I remember growing up, you don't eat that,
you're not getting anything.
I'll see you next week, mate.
But that's the same, and we're of similar age, so I just think it's like
just the world, how the world is going. Okay, so you done your sports management, and then you decided after sports management that you done your skis, and after you got back from skiing.
Well, so I don't really know why anyway.
You chose a different
route. I just basically, as I said, everybody was becoming PE teachers, and for some reason I was like, I don't want to do that. And I, on a whim after my ski season, so you finish the ski season around May, so I didn't want to get trapped into sort of season life where you just live on like a rotation of summer winter, and I was like, I'll move to London. Don't know why. I think, again, I'm quite inspired by my mum. Like, I love my mum, and she sort of did that. And I don't know why. I think I might have just had a conversation. She always said to me, go and see other places. Like, you don't need to just come back to Cheltenham and live here for the rest of your life. She's very much taught me from a young age to go and see the world.
She's in Cheltenham.
Yeah. And my dad as well. And so I was like, okay, I'll just move to London. And I had met my now like best friend and sister-in-law. She married my brother. So we met on my first ski season, and she was living in London, and there was a spare room in her flat, and oh my god, it was an absolute shithole. It was in Mile End in East London. Jesus Christ, it was a dive, and I literally had like this much room for all of my stuff. It was horrific, but I'm glad that I did it. So I moved in there, and then I was like, I don't have a job, so how am I going to pay the rent? And she had been working for an agency, like hospitality, so they ring you and say, we've got a shift from 5 until 11, and it might be, I don't know, at the O2, it might be at Wembley, it might be Royal Albert Hall, it might be in a very posh private dining room, whatever. And I was like, I'll just go there, sign up, and that's how I'm going to earn some money. So I went, and then, long story short, they actually offers me an office job for £350 a week. And I was like, oh, I reckon I can just about get by on that, because obviously everybody knows living in London's horrifically expensive. So I just thought I'd prefer to do that than shift work. At least I know where I'm going every morning. And I was a resourcer, so I basically looked at CVs, called people and invited them to come in. So I invited temps in. And then I just sort of got stuck there for 5 years.
Oh, and you went 5 years?
Yeah, so that's then how I got into recruitment. So I started as a resourcer, I then became a consultant. So that was looking after, I worked on the contract catering desk. So that was looking after places like Aviva, HSBC, KPMG, like basically imagine Canary Wharf, all those big office buildings. They have contract caterers that run all of their
meetings and events.
Yeah, meetings, events, and I would supply staff to them. So like top-up agency staff. And then I became a senior consultant, then a divisional manager, and it taught me, I'm really, really grateful for the experience. Like, it taught me hard work. I worked 7 days a week. I was contacted by clients at 5 o'clock in the morning. Temps would drop out on a Sunday. It ruined my life, but also taught me...
But you probably gained quite a lot of it.
So much, like, hard work, like how to be organised, like some really, really valuable work skills. So I'm eternally grateful. Like, I got to go to South Africa because I won an award through work. Like, so we were rewarded really well. Is this
where you done the cycling thing?
No.
Okay.
No. Actually, that was through Evolve. Yeah. So as well as going to South Africa, I then got the opportunity to go to Kenya. So an email circulated the office saying, does anybody want to do this charity bike ride? It's cycling 500 kilometers through Kenya. And I was like, right, I'll try that. And you had to raise, I think it was £1,500 minimum. And I think I managed to raise like £2,800. Oh, wow. Yeah, so that was great. And my boss who owned the company said that they would pay for flights and everything. So all I had to do was raise this money. So that was like one of the best experiences ever. Hard, like we cycled 100 to 120 kilometers a day.
Wow.
But it was amazing, and I'll literally never forget that. But so I'm so grateful for that experience. But it just got too much. Like, I just couldn't sustain working those hours.
Stress levels like 100.
Sky high. I couldn't do it anymore. And actually during those 5 years, I'd left for 6 months and then came back.
Oh, right.
So I went to a different recruitment agency. Wasn't for me.
And they were like, come back?
Then they gave me my job back, but I had to start again. So I had to build a desk from zero. That was hard work, but actually it became very successful. So again, like another thing, like business development calls, all of that, had to do all of that, which was really scary. But it just got too much, and I thought, what am I going to do? And I just thought, I'm going to become a PE teacher. And I just wanted something to be practical. I didn't want to sit at a desk anymore. And I just, on a whim, sort of quit my job, and I managed to get into it's called a SKIT program. So it's like on-the-job training. Okay. So that was a year, but that was scary. I was going...
But you already had, because you had your degree, this was just like a teacher top, was it like
a teacher top-up? Yeah, so it was basically a PGC, but it qualified to teacher status. But that was, I don't know, you go from I was earning very good money and on a lot of commission to nothing.
Yeah.
And then having to pay £9,000 to do a course and not getting paid for a year. So it was like a huge life-changing thing.
Probably quite a valuable lesson in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
budgeting and...
Yeah, 100%. And like it was hard, but you know, I'm lucky that I was able to do it. But best decision that I ever made. And I just then became a teacher and managed to secure a job and like never look back. And even when I have hard days at work teaching, I'm so grateful for Evolve and my recruitment days, because nothing will compare to how hard I worked in that job.
And how long have you been teaching for?
So this is my 3rd year. I'm like a very new teacher in comparison to a lot of other people. Yeah. So I'm probably just about finding my feet with it.
How did you find the lockdown for teaching?
Well, I must say, as a PE teacher, it was fabulous because I didn't have to do anything. So we just basically made videos of ourselves working out and posted them. So I logged on each lesson for about 5 minutes and then said goodbye. So I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of time off work, which was lovely.
Obviously, the PE element of it is very different to like maths and stuff.
Oh, I mean, those teachers, like, hats off to anybody that probably teaches any other subjects, because I know that they all work their absolute socks off. And those that go to CrossFit and teach another subject will literally roll their eyes at the PE teacher, because it's so true, we do nothing. Some days I'm at work and I'm like, can't believe I get paid for this. It was.
Did it make you a better teacher?
Lockdown? Absolutely not.
No,
because I didn't really, honestly, I really hope nobody from work listens to this, because I did nothing.
Did you not have to do, like, obviously, you know, you thought a little bit outside the box, you were filming.
Yeah, definitely. But like, I loved it. You
personally didn't get better it didn't change?
Not really. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I do teach theory as well. But because I was on a block of coursework, so I was basically just chasing kids to do their work. They'd been taught everything. I did actually have an online observation, which was okay. So I guess it's taught me to teach online, but I really hope that we never have to do that ever again, because it was horrific. So those teachers who teach, you know, English, math, science, whatever it might be, awful.
And you done some filming?
I did.
For the app, for CrossFit Harrow app?
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience.
It was actually really, like, it was really good for my confidence, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, 100%. I was really, really nervous about doing it, like, you know that. And then once you've done one or once you've done a couple, then it was okay.
It's easy. Pass me the mic.
Yeah, exactly. But that was at a period of possibly overtraining and not knowing when to stop, which then led to not the nicest injury in the world. So,
injury prone?
Yeah, a little bit, because I don't probably look after myself as much as I should.
How important is recovery?
Extremely important.
How much
and
recovery?
You have taught me that.
How much recovery do you do?
Now a lot.
But it is funny though. You know, even me to this day, I think we all as humans need to get better at this. We kind of push our bodies.
Oh, I'm so typical of that.
Along the way, there'll be like red flags,
yeah.
and your body's telling you like you need to stop or you need to change something, but we just continue and we just ignore it.
I just think that I'm invincible.
Yeah,
and
we do.
I do now.
We do. Like we just find we just don't know where that line is, and when we should actually like rein it back a little bit. And be like, actually, if I do less, it's probably going to benefit me more. Definitely. For a short period of time.
Do you know, I actually got a massage gun for Christmas.
I think people should utilise massages a lot more for the benefit of like your own health. It's good to have that.
I think it's good for you mentally as well.
Yeah. It's good to take that time out for the 45 minutes, hour.
Yeah.
In a very quiet room. Generally, you know, there's no sound. The masseuse doesn't really talk much. And for you to like relax and de-stress. What are your goals and plans moving forward?
To not put so much pressure on myself that I have to train 7 days a week, twice a day, and that will mean that and if I don't do that, then I won't be as fit or look a certain way. I think taking the pressure off is a lot better for my mental health. And if I only train 3 days a week, then that's absolutely fine.
Is that one of your specific goals fitness wise? You just focus on, like, if I get 3 sessions in a week, I'm happy?
Yeah, 100%. Because I also I play netball 3 times a week. So without
Which is a lot. That's a lot of volume. Like 3 and 3.
And a lot. I don't think people sort of appreciate how much impact there is in netball. Like, it's jumping constantly. So, and I rolled my ankle a few weeks ago, so there is a lot to go with that as well. So I just just to take it a little bit easier.
I think a lot of us have these goals of, like, wanting to achieve X, do Y, and then get Z and stuff. But actually, like, that's a long goal.
Yeah.
But if we just look at just taking that first step, that's a goal in itself. So, for example, the goal that you said, look, if I can get in 3 sessions a week, I'm ticking boxes. It doesn't have to be, I need to finish this workout in this time. I need to get this weight for repetitions. It can just be, I'm content with 3 sessions per week.
That is it. And I had goals before, is that I need to be the best in the class. I need to, like, finish this super quickly, but it's not really about that for me.
But in one way, the injuries kind of told you, in one way, the injuries that humbled you and
honestly,
said, slow down.
it's just, I think it's just more scared me a little bit. I'm just a bit nervous to push
because
and push.
when things are going really well, you tend to get, you push more, you get carried away. You're like, I can do more, and then time's up.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm literally no CrossFit expert, but I just
but you enjoyed
talking like I'm a pro.
You enjoyed the training, you enjoyed the benefits, you enjoyed what it was giving to you and what
I think it's just because I'm naturally competitive, so you always want, if you're a competitive person, you always want to push to be the best. It doesn't necessarily mean in the class and against other people, but of yourself. It's just pushing yourself constantly. And I just went too far, which is just really annoying, but I just need to tone it down a little bit.
That's fair enough.
That is my 2022 goal.
The goals of 2022.
Yeah.
Molly, we have run out of time for today.
Shame.
Thank you very much. Guys and girls, join us next week.